guys, hi, how's it going? How y'all doing today? Hopefully today finds you well. Today I am doing my makeup rehab update for the month of September. We're going to go through all the things that I've brought into my collection through the month of August and the beginning of September, and all the things that I have emptied. And it's a little game that I play with myself that was inspired by It's Just Stuff here on YouTube. She is the creator of this kind of like low-buy functioning system, as far as I can tell anyways. And it's super fun, so I hope that you're here for it. If you are, please keep on watching. For those of you new here, hi, my name is Donna. I'm a lover of all things high-end, colorful beauty and self-care. I also work as a field leader for Ulta, get a lot of education in my position. I like to bring you that education here through reviews, shopping my stash, utilizing the products that I have, and really just giving you the information that I am getting through use or through education. And ultimately, I'm just out here because I like to talk about makeup, and this is my self-care. So I like to come out here, talk to y'all, and soothe my soul. That is what this is all about, and I hope that you're here for it. And if you are, and you find that you have found the right place, I'd love for you to subscribe before you go. I do have a giveaway going on right now on my channel. I will link that giveaway video up in the cards for you. If you want to take part in it, you have to be subscribed to do so. So with that said, let's roll into this makeup rehab. All right, as you heard, we have some empties that we're going to go through today, and we have some things that we're bringing in that we're going to go through today. And this has absolutely nothing to do with anything except for makeup. Now, I do showcase for you sometimes like gratis that I've brought in as it pertains to like skincare, beauty, or other than that. But surprisingly, I don't think that I had any gratis last month that I can think of, which is crazy sauce. I'm usually always, I think I did get some skincare gratis, but I gave it to my daughter because it was by La Roche-Posay, and it was acne treatment, and I gave it to her because she has more acneic skin than I do, even though I've got this like crazy bunch of like stuff going on right now. But I do think that it is from a new primer that I rolled into my Shop My Stash. So we're testing that theory as we speak. And with that said, I do have some rules for myself in terms of the things that I can purchase, and we can go over those when we get to the purchasing section. But I'd love to showcase for you what I emptied so that we can really talk about the points. So just to baseline this is a low-buy game that I play with myself that was inspired, like I said, by stuff from It's Just Stuff here on the YouTubes, and we call it Makeup Rehab. And it is points that I gave myself at the beginning of the year, which were my permission points, basically. Permission to spend money on this amount of items without having to empty any items in my collection. But I did start this year with quite a bit less than I have ever started the year before with. I think when I first started playing this game, I gave myself like 35 points. Last year I gave myself 20, and then in October ended up cutting the points that I had in October in half because I had emptied so much more than what I had purchased and had like 40 points, and was like, I do not need 40 points for the last month of the year. So I cut myself in half and still ended up on the end of the year having about 12 points left over, if I remember correctly. So this year I started with 10, and we're actually doing okay. I mean, I am sitting at -2 points currently as we rolled into September. One of my rules previous years was that anything that I purchased in September didn't count for me. That's not exactly so this year. Gratis and gifts don't count for me, but I do spend an awful lot in September because it is my birthday month, and I just kind of wanted to rein that in a little bit. So I did allow myself 5 extra points for purchases in September. So we are going to automatically add 5 points to this -2. So we're sitting at +3 right now. That said, everything that I empty equates to 1 point, except for like the minis that are in my turn and burn. Those I have to equate to get a point. I think on here it said 10 samples, but I was thinking through the lens of like foil packet samples, and my makeup samples are not foil packet samples. The makeup samples are actually full size, like eyeshadows and stuff like that. So I did drill it down to 2 samples equated to a point in my turn and burn as it pertains to makeup samples that I have in turn and burn. But I mean, I pretty much don't have any of those anymore except for mascaras. Long story short, everything that I empty equals a point, and then those points get added in, and then everything that I purchase, we take away a point. So as I said, we start rolling into September with -2 points coming out of August, and we're adding 5 points automatically to that. So we actually will end up with 3 points going into this month. But I do have some empties. So let's go through the empties. So first and foremost, you will have seen in Project Pan this as an empty. This is the IT Cosmetics CC Plus Nude Glow. This is a foundation that I had had in my collection for approximately 1.5 years. I do love this foundation. I don't typically love IT Cosmetics foundations, honestly. I feel like they're a little bit thick, a little bit more full coverage than I like them to be. This one was a very medium-ish wash of color, I would say, on the skin. I felt like it had great coverage, but I feel like it felt so much different than any other IT Cosmetics CC Plus foundation cream that I have ever came across, and I loved it so much. So it really wasn't hard to use this up, and I put it into my Project Pan, and I think it was gone within 3 months, I think it was. This is in the shade neutral medium, and I would repurchase this. Now, when I put it into the Project Pan, it only had this much in it because it was a product that I use pretty consistently. I love it. My like cap never stayed on, so it drove me nuts, and it is a rather messy foundation for whatever reason. I can't figure it out. But I did love how this looked on my skin. It was a very like natural kind of finish to it with a little bit of luminosity without being sparkly, kind of like the Huda Glowish is. I loved this foundation and would consider repurchasing it. I definitely could see that reappearing in my collection in the near future. Another thing that was emptied through my Project Pan is this eyeliner here. And if you guys watched that Project Pan, you know that this was only in my Project Pan for a month before I ended up having to call it an empty. It is to the point where I can't sharpen it anymore. I even put tape on the end of it, trying to sharpen it some more. When I was sharpening it, the biggest problem with this is that I think it maybe was old or maybe just too creamy. It kept breaking in the sharpener. So I went through it really, really fast. Now, when I brought it into my Project Pan, it wasn't a brand new item. Obviously, my Project Pan is not typically set up with a bunch of brand new items in it, but it was still a relatively new-ish eyeliner. I haven't had it in my collection for very long. I have to say I am pretty disappointed that it ran its course in such a short amount of time. It is a beautiful color. It is the LA Girl Shockwave Neon Eyeliner in the shade Dragon. You can still get this. I did see it on the Ulta website. It is so pretty. I don't know if I'll repurchase it because honestly, I'm finding that I'm having the same problem with the LA Girl liners that I have in my collection now, except for, you know, a handful of them that really haven't seen the same kind of action that this one has. Maybe the orange and the other green in my collection, I'm not seeing the same kind of, I don't know. This one just really went bad really fast, or maybe not even bad. Maybe it was just too creamy. I do not want to purchase an eyeliner, even a $3 or $5 eyeliner that's going to just continue to be such a frustration every single time I sharpen it. So That's where that is. This is the Danessa Myricks Line Work eyeliner. I have to say, I'm really kind of disappointed in this because I opened it up. I only used it for about a month and a half before the thing just exploded on me. And I don't know why it did that, but like every time I went to use it, there was this like glob of eyeliner on the end that would get all over because I didn't really notice that it was leaking until I noticed it was leaking, and it had made a mess all over my face. There is a meme that my sister sent me, or not a meme, I guess it's a video by a girl here on YouTube, and if I can, or maybe not YouTube, maybe it's TikTok, if I can find it, I'll put it in here. It's damn hilarious, but I felt like that girl doing my eyeliner because I was putting it on the one eye and it got everywhere, and then I went to wipe it off and tried to fix it and it went everywhere more so because it was leaking and I didn't realize it was leaking. It would get into my lashes and then it'd be down on my cheeks and I thought it was my mascara for a minute. It was a mess. So it just put a really bad taste in my mouth for it. I've never had that problem with a liquid liner in the past. I've never had one like explode like that on me. So I probably won't repurchase it. I think it was far too expensive to get the little tiny amount of usage that I got out of it, but I am calling that an empty. It will go. And then these two items are actually in my project pan that really closely after I filmed my project pan that went up on the 1st of this month, I had emptied this one. And then this one I used for the very last time today, and I can't be more excited about it. So this is the Makeup by Mario Glow Gloss, and this is in the shade Mauve Glow. And I didn't really realize, because this is a lip product that you can only roll up as much as you need to use. You can't retract it. So I didn't really realize when I filmed my project pan last that this was as low as it was. So you guys will see this again in my project pan update for October, but I did end up digging as much of that out as I possibly could, because when I showcased it in my September update for my project pan, I couldn't roll it up anymore and didn't realize that I couldn't roll it up anymore. So I got about 4 or 5 more uses out of it before I ended up emptying it. So really excited about that. This glow gloss had been in my project pan since May. So I got a healthy amount of usage out of it, but I gotta be honest, I cannot. I'm really happy to see it kind of go. Honestly, I said it before, but it is called Mauve Glow. You would think it was a little less warm than what it actually is on your lips, on my lips anyways. And so it wasn't my favorite shade of it, but I do love this gloss formula and have already repurchased a different one. This was a concealer that I pulled into my project pan in August, and I knew it was almost gone, but it's got, you know, kind of a triangular bottle, and it is, you can take the stopper out, but you can't like really see much outside of this because it's really opaque, and you can't really scrape the walls because this isn't necessarily a super bendy like component, right? A super bendy doe foot, but this is the LYS Triple Fix Concealer. And the truth of the matter is that I was the first couple times using this on my under eyes and then realized it was just too dark to use on my under eyes, so I started using it as a foundation. And it only took me 6 weeks. I brought it into my project pan for my August update, which means I probably started using it about 3 or 4 days prior to that August update, because I always film my updates a few days prior. And it is the 14th of September as I'm filming this, so it took me approximately 6 weeks to finish this concealer off. It had been a concealer in my collection for quite some time. It's actually one of my oldest concealers. I did take a little spatula, the tiniest spatula that I have, because honestly this little opening here is the smallest opening on the planet. But if I look at it through the light, I can see all the way to the bottom. You're not going to be able to see that because that hole is tiny. I can see all the way to the bottom. There is a little bit of product on this wand that I might use tomorrow, but other than that, I mean, it's literally got not even a full face left in it. What I think is interesting is when I brought this in, it was so funny because I was like, I need to get this out of my collection. It's driving me nuts. The top isn't like with the container. It sits like angular outside of the container, but then I took the stopper out and now it sits perfectly on the container. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. So anyways, this is also empty. So these two items you will see again in my Project Pan update when I do my update for October. But that brings my empties total to 5. So with the 5 extra points that we're bringing in for September, that means I get to add 10 points to my beauty bank. So with those 10 points added into my beauty bank, we were at -2, so I am sitting at 8 points. Now let's talk purchases. First and foremost, I did get some gifts, but the gifts were in the form of money. So I do have a Sephora order coming. I also have another purchase I want to make with the remainder of that money from another indie brand. But when I get on their website, every single time I get on their website, it is always out of stock. So I'll just keep on trying. That said, I do have 2 fragrances that I brought in, and y'all just saw my fragrance collection, and why I needed to bring 2 more fragrances in, I do not understand. But these were part of the things that I bought for myself for my birthday. If you don't know, if you're part of the Ulta Beauty loyalty program and you also carry their card, whatever, I get, 2 times points for my card, but I also get 2 times points during my birthday. So everything that I buy during my birthday gets me a lot of points, and I purchase a lot of things with points throughout the year, and up to and including my hair. So it is whatever. But I have been eyeballing this for a while. This is a fragrance by Sniff called Cocoa Shimmy. And I am really excited to use this. It's got scents of coconut, pineapple, sunscreen accord, surf wax accord, sandalwood, and tonka bean. And I have smelled it every single time I've been in store and wanted it so dang bad. And then I also have this one by Nest. Now this is actually a perfume oil. It'll be the first time I have ever tried anything like this, but this is another one that I had been looking at quite extensively prior to deciding that this was what I wanted. This is the Balinese coconut perfume oil. And this one has notes of creamy coconut, tropical tiara blossom, and salted musk, essence of fresh coconuts, harvested from the islands of Southeast Asia. I am really actually quite excited for both of these fragrances. So there's that. So those don't count for points. This one doesn't count for points really either. This is a tinted moisturizer, and tinted moisturizer for me is not necessarily a makeup purchase. So I still am going to put a primer on my face. I'm still going to put a foundation on my face or a skin tint of sorts. This is just like a color changing, so it would at best be maybe a primer for me, but that's not what I think of it through the lens of all the things. It's definitely a skincare item. It is an SPF. It's just a tinted SPF, and it is the Origins Ginseng SPF 40 energy boosting tinted moisturizer. And I got this because the store that I was in on the day that I purchased this was doing an Origins event, and I wanted to support the event. So I did purchased that. The rest of this is makeup. These are things that I myself purchased. This is the Too Faced Kissing Jelly Gloss. This is a juicy lip oil, and I did get this one in the shade Bubblegum. Now I have one that I am using in my deck of panning. You guys will see that again in deck of panning later this week. But this one is the one that is kind of sparkly and pink, but it has a bubblegum scent to it, and I kind of went back and forth with this one because it is sparkly, and I don't necessarily love a sparkly gloss on myself, but I can't get past the smell. It smells so good. So I did go ahead and I love the Kissing Jelly lip gloss that I am currently using, so I had to buy this one. So I did purchase that. That is one point. I also purchased this because, yeah, I got to support my Clinique girls and boys. And this is their High Impact Gel Tech eyeliner in the shade Black Honey. Now, I do have one that I brought in last month that was actually gratis, and it is in the shade Denim. I can't find it. So it's kind of like this navy blue. These are really great eyeliners. So I did go ahead and purchase that. I also purchased, for whatever reason, this palette has screamed at me. In every single store that I'm in, it screams, purchase me. And I never get that feeling from this brand, ever. So I ended up purchasing the Too Faced Aptly in Love eyeshadow palette, and I just, you guys, that is what the color story is, and I went ahead and pulled it out because it smells like caramel apple. It smells so good. You can see my breath. That is what the palette looks like. Listen, this looks like every other Too Faced eyeshadow palette on the planet, but this is so pretty. It's so pretty. I just needed to have it. I wanted to have it. It is now in my collection. And the Too Faced tin palettes are some of their better palettes. Now, I do like the Too Faced, oh, what is it called? It's the New Nudes or Natural Nudes. The Born This Way, Natural Nudes, something like. I do love that palette, the first one of those, not the subsequent ones. But this is the first Too Faced palette that I have really been drawn to purchase since the Sweet Peach palette. So I had to have it. And then, of course, y'all know I had to get these. So I got the Natasha Denona Mini Rose palette. My friend Andy did a get ready with me utilizing this palette, and I wasn't really sure about it, to be honest. It's really kind of light in tone, but I mean, it's a really great just everyday eyeshadow palette to take with you on the go. And y'all know Natasha Denona is my favorite, so I had to pick up this palette. Maybe had to, I think is a strong word. I had to. Again, this is the Natasha Denona I Need a Warm, and I Need a Nude is my favorite, but the problem is that I still have yet to use the Natasha Denona Golden palette that I just purchased, and she's starting to throw palettes out like ABH did at that one point in time. Remember when everybody was like, slow down on the palettes? She's starting to do that kind of, like, I feel like we just got Golden, and I feel like right before that we got a Need a Nude, and before that we got, like, I feel like it's just one right after the other right now. But I also know that there's another one because something was sneak peeked somewhere that there's another one coming out. So I know that I'll be purchasing another one of her palettes, but this is a duochrome. So pretty. In the screen it looks red. From my vision point it looks like this greenish golden color. I'm so excited. Warms are some of my favorite tones to use on my eyes, even though I've been dabbling a lot in cool tones over the last year. So from a perspective of purchasing, we are taking 5 points away. So I am left with 3 points. And that includes all of the empties that I had and the purchases that I made for myself outside of what I received for my birthday, because I don't have all that yet. I'll wait and talk about what I got for my birthday when I have everything for my birthday. That makes me so sad right now. That makes me so sad. But my birthday presents don't count for me. I just want to show you just a sneak peek. I got three. This is what the love of my life bought me for my birthday. A few of these Endlessly Ring palettes that I've been wanting so dang bad. I'll do what I got for my birthday video as soon as I get the Sephora order that I ordered using the birthday money that my mom and my daughter gave me, because I can't wait. I can't wait to get it all in my hot little hands. But with the 5 purchases that I made and the 5 extra points that I had and the 5 empties that I had, everything is just 5 this month, which is really strange. I am actually left over with 3 points. Now, had I not added 5 points in for my birthday extra points, my birthday present to myself extra points, then I would still end up with -2 items, which is what I rolled into this month with. So I am actually pretty happy with the outcome of this, to be honest, because in years past, I have gone crazy haywire during September and just used September to buy everything that I wanted to buy. Now, with that said, I'm not even going to pretend anymore. Every Natasha Denona palette that comes out, I purchase, whether I say I'm gonna or not. So we know that she has another one coming out. I will likely purchase that. There is likely not going to be any like holiday kits that I will purchase, although every year I sometimes end up with like 2 or 3 of them. So there might be a couple holiday kits. I do feel pretty substantiated through the holiday season with everything that I have here. But man, they always come out with some really great stuff during the holiday season. I haven't seen anything yet, but that doesn't mean that I won't purchase anything. So the rules I have for myself, I've not broken any of them, and I'm sitting in a really good place for my blushes, highlighters, and lip gloss, where I have a 1 in, 1 out thought process for that. Haven't purchased any new mascaras or face palettes, and definitely haven't purchased any lipsticks, although there was one that was on my mind a couple days ago. I was in a store and I was like, oh my god, that is a beautiful lipstick, but I just don't wear them, and I have to remind myself of that all the time. Yeah, we're doing a really good job, you guys. If I go into my spreadsheets too and look at where I'm sitting right now, so far I still have 1 blush that I could bring in from a 1 in, 1 out perspective, and it wouldn't harm like my like thought process in Makeup Rehab. I have decluttered so many blushes this year. I decluttered like 14 blushes this year, which I think is crazy stuff. I think a couple of them were cream or liquid blushes that I also used, but for the majority of those numbers, they are decluttered blushes. I have 14 highlights that I could bring in from a 1 in, 1 out perspective, because I decluttered 17 highlights when I did my highlight declutter. And then from a lip gloss perspective, which I guess that one is a lip gloss, so I'll need to put that in here as a lip gloss, but that is the first in lip gloss point that I have. So that means I can bring in 13 more lip glosses before I hit the realm of purchase 1 in, 1 out, because I did declutter 14 lip gloss. I've decluttered and used 14 lip glosses. Look, I'm barreling through lip glosses this year. So I'm really super happy with the progress that we're making here. And honestly, really super happy at the end of the day where we're sitting in my Makeup Rehab number. Now, I do know that that in essence means that I've given myself 15 points this year. But to give myself 15 points and still have 3 left, that means I've emptied more than I have purchased this year. So that makes me super happy. And with that said, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. What are you purchasing this year? I would be interested to know what some of your favorite items are. Did you get the Too Faced Aptly in Love palette? did you get the Natasha Denona I Need a Warm palette? Do you feel the same way about Natasha right now, and that she's just kind of coming out with things just right and left, and it's like my eyeballs are spinning. I am working on getting my new Natasha Denona code. I know that you guys have seen a Natasha Denona code down in my description box for a minute now, because I got myself a Natasha Denona code right around my birthday time frame. But then she switched platforms for her affiliate codes, and I have yet to send all the information that I need to get my new code. So I will, I promise you I will, but that's where we're at right now. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that you and yours are well. I hope that you are all healthy and safe and getting along as best you can. I hope that you are all loving each other, being kind humans, and living your best life, and are super excited to welcome fall, because here we are. Happy fall. All right, guys, I'll talk to you all later. Have the best day. And until next time, bye, friends.